Good evening. My name is George Jones, and I'm the grants manager for the city of Bowie. And tonight I'm here to share with you and present to you the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, also called the CAPER for the city of Bowie's fiscal year 2021. This is the first of two public hearings required by HUD, and this one is being broadcast virtually here tonight. The Consolidated Annual Report for fiscal year 2021 is for this year is the third year of our 5-year plan required by HUD for the Community Development Block Grant Program. This annual report identifies our expenditures and programs for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021. The funding for FY21 block grant funding amount was $198,618. This report will outline, as you'll see coming up, all the statutory requirements that have been met and the programs and activities that were completed during this fiscal year. Among them, as you will see, was the Single Family Housing Rehabilitation Program, which homes were rehabbed with energy efficient upgrades. And the focus this year was not only on low income seniors, but also teachers, first responders, veterans, and disabled homeowners. This was done in conjunction partly by funding also from the Department of Housing and Community Development, their legacy program. In addition, there was fair housing training that took place during the month of April, where there was a virtual presentation done on the topic of fair housing laws and rights within the city of Bowie and state of Maryland. In addition, there was a workforce development training program or some symposiums giving for youth age 15 to 17 and adults ages from 18 to 25 years. A total of 43 attendees participated in both the youth and the adult program categories. In addition, the city of Bowie received CARES Act funding and the amount of $116,863 for last fiscal year. This CARES Act funding encompassed with 3 programs that we held here in the city. One was the Emergency Food Assistance Program. I'll tell you a little bit about more later. And the second one was personal protective equipment purchases that were made. And the third was the Emergency Rental Assistance Program that we also held here in the city of Bowie for renters in the city. This first slide that I'm going to show you here is a little bit about the city of Bowie being an entitlement program. This provides annual grants on a formula basis to entitled cities and counties throughout the country to develop viable urban communities and providing decent housing and suitable living environments for citizens and residents, and by expanding opportunities principally for low and moderate income persons. As an entitlement community, the city of Bowie, through its grant funds, developed funding priorities that address at least one of the 3 national objectives. And the CDB projects must address one of these national 3 projects. One being benefit low moderate income persons. The second, eliminate slums and blight, or fulfill an urgent need. Eligible activities include acquisition, demolition, or rehabilitation of real property, construction of public facilities, public services, and energy conservation and renewable energy. The Single Family Housing Rehab Program is federally funding, and it provided assistance to single family homeowners with limited financial purposes. The purpose of this particular program is to provide energy efficiency related upgrades and repairs to correct hazardous conditions, eliminate safety hazards, repair or replace major systems within the homes, correct interior or exterior deficiencies, energy improvements, modifications for persons with disabilities, and eliminate lead-based paint hazards. The CDBG process includes citizen participation. That's part of the public hearing that we're having tonight. And we do, as this chart says, a needs assessment. Your participation is, as the public, is greatly helpful in us determining the needs of the citizens of Bowie. And therefore, after we develop and evaluate the needs and the comments and input from concerned citizens, we develop a 5-year strategy. As I said earlier, we're in the 3rd year of our 5-year strategy. We estimate the costs, we set up goals and performance measures for each of the projects or programs that we plan to do over the 5-year period. And each year also in May, we do what we conduct or produce an annual action plan. As required by HUD, we do it on a yearly basis. And this is when we determine, or HUD determines for us, what our resources or the funding level is going to be each year. And based off the funding level and keep it in line with our 5-year strategy, we develop activities and performance measures. And basically, it's a plan of what we're planning to do during that fiscal year with the funding that's going to be received from HUD. And this report is the final column over here, is the evaluation report. And basically, this tells you, the general public, and concerned citizens, actually what our expenditures were for the prior fiscal year and the status and progress, and actually what were the deliverables that were produced during the year with the HUD funding. This right here is a flow chart, and it basically outlines, and I won't go into detail with all of these blocks here, but it basically outlines how we have to produce this CAPER report, which is required. And these are some of the things that we go through as we manage the program on a year-to-year basis. We do some evaluations, we do affordable housing, evaluating continuum of care. We try to also leverage other resources and provide HUD with our priorities and any changes or alterations, modifications that we may do to our annual action plan. All these are done on an annual basis if needed. And we also share economic trends within the city of Bowie. And all of those are part of the report, which is available in draft form on the city's website right now. And we have to file this report within 90 days at the end of a fiscal year. The report also, we have to do some generated reports from the HUD website. We provide an executive summary, certifications, and this right here, as you see on the screen, is one of 2 public hearings that are published in the local newspaper and on the city's website, and made available for the public to comment on for their input. And right now we're in the public hearing session, and then after we finish this, we'll produce the final report, and then it will go to the City of Bowie Council for adoption, and then the final step would be submit the final report to HUD for their approval. Fiscal 2021 year accomplishments. We did complete the single-family housing rehab program, as I spoke about earlier. 21 new residents were able to participate in the program. We completed 11 rehab projects by June 30th. Um, and we began the implementation process for new applicants for the upcoming year, as well as completed all the entries onto the HUD website for identifying the new projects that we um, have brought into the program. And also we completed drawdowns from the HUD website for monies that the city expended during the fiscal year as well. During the Fair Housing Month of April 2021, we made available on the city website a presentation on fair housing, legislative history, and in the state of fair housing and nationally and in the state of Maryland, and examples of fair housing violations that had been handled by Maryland residents, and material was publicized to all city staff, county employees, and surrounding municipal governments. Our fair housing documentation is also made available under the CAPER for this fiscal year, and it'll be titled Fair Housing Attachments, I believe. The City of Bowie also launched the third workforce development program in the spring of 2021 for Bowie residents age 15 to 25 years. This year, program trained 38 residents in life skills that would make them effective job seekers and employees, such as the time and financial management, effective communication, stress management, budgeting, and relationship building. The City of Bowie Office of Grants Development and Administration also provides homeless support to residents on an as-needed basis. The staff of the Grants Office responds to reports of residents or other city staff, from residents or other city staff, bring it to our attention of homeless individuals in need of support, or from inquiries from residents that are homeless or facing eviction. Also, staff also sit on the county, Prince George's County's continuum of care project, which is a group of homeless service providers within Prince George's County. The target area for the block grant is basically consists of the entire incorporated boundaries of the city of Bowie, and this right here is just a outline of the city of Bowie's map. In addition, the city of Bowie last fiscal year also received what we call CARES Act funding. This was something that was in response to the pandemic that arose last year, actually was in the whole country was under this pandemic, and HUD provided funding to the city of Bowie to address the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act funding to undertake the following programs that were done here by the city of Bowie. As I mentioned before, there was emergency rental assistance program, and $150,000 was allotted for that. The emergency PPE supplies program, that was $9,962. That was expended last fiscal year, and also the emergency food and supplies program, where we expended $50,000 last fiscal year. So this fiscal year again ended June 21st. In addition, last fiscal year, the city of Bowie was awarded an additional $209,962 in CARES Act funding. We are in the process now of providing the same three programs also to City of Bowie residents for additional CARES Act funding, and those final expenditures will be identified in our next year's um, paper. The Community Development Block Program 5-year action strategy is analyzes housing, human services, and community development throughout the city. We determine the priority needs within each category in a comprehensive and coordinated fashion, and it sets forth a 5-year annual goals to address the unmet community needs. The city of Bowie does not have the capacity to handle all of the needs of the things that need to be addressed. Some examples are we have no housing authority. We don't have a social services department also that provides services directly for homeless citizens. So there are needs that are met through partnerships, through regional organizations and others, and also through the county and the state that we partner with to assist Bowie residents with the delivery of comprehensive human services. We routinely make referrals to these other agencies and partners within the region where they are, where the Bowie residents can be given the services that they desire. Complete information regarding the CDBG program, along with related grant documents, legal notices, can be found on the City of Bowie's website under the department heading and look for the grants office, and you'll see other documents related to the CDBG program and other announcements regarding projects and programs that we undertake, and these can be found there at any point in time during the fiscal year on our website. As I stated, this is a public hearing. It's being held virtually. So if you have any suggestions or comments regarding the report, you may email them to me. Again, my name is George Jones. I'm the grants manager. My email is shown here at the bottom of this page, gjones@cityofbowie.org. Please email your comments to me if you have any within the next 30 days so they can be made available or made part of the report that we submit to HUD in the month of November. So thank you for listening and have a great evening and good night.